In the game Horizon Zero Dawn, the idea of storing human knowledge in DNA was portrayed as a sci-fi concept. While it is an intriguing idea, the current scientific understanding of genetics and DNA suggests that it may not be possible or effective to store human knowledge in encapsulated DNA. DNA is the genetic material that encodes information necessary for the development, functioning, and reproduction of all living organisms. While it is possible to store information in DNA, such as the storage of digital data in DNA molecules, it is unlikely that it could be used to store human knowledge in a way that is both practical and accessible. Human knowledge is incredibly complex and diverse, encompassing a wide range of information from various fields of study, such as history, literature, science, and technology. Storing all of this information in DNA would require an enormous amount of storage space, and accessing and deciphering that information would also pose significant challenges. Additionally, the human brain is a highly specialized organ that is specifically adapted for processing and storing knowledge. Even if it were possible to store human knowledge in DNA, it is unlikely that this would be an effective way to replicate the human brain's ability to process and utilize that knowledge. In conclusion, while the idea of storing human knowledge in DNA is an interesting concept, current scientific understanding suggests that it may not be practical or effective for replicating the complexities of human knowledge and the human brain's ability to process and utilize that knowledge. It is true that with advances in artificial intelligence, AI, it may be possible to develop algorithms and methods to decode and interpret information stored in DNA. However, there are still several technical challenges that need to be addressed before such an idea could be realized. Firstly, current DNA storage technology is not yet mature enough to store large amounts of data that would be required to encapsulate human knowledge. While DNA storage has shown promise for archiving digital data, it is not yet feasible for storing large amounts of complex, unstructured data like human knowledge. Secondly, even if the data could be stored in DNA, it would need to be organized in a way that makes it easily searchable and accessible to an AI system. This would require significant efforts in developing new algorithms for processing, organizing, and searching the data in a way that is efficient and effective. Finally, the accuracy of the stored information would need to be ensured, and errors in data storage, such as mutations or degradation, would need to be minimized. The process of encoding information into DNA and decoding it back into a usable format may introduce errors or loss of information that could significantly impact the accuracy and completeness of the stored knowledge. Preserving all of human knowledge for 1,000 years without degradation is a challenging task, and there are several factors that need to be considered in developing an effective preservation strategy. Here are a few methods that could potentially be used to preserve human knowledge. Physical storage. One of the most common methods of preserving information is through physical storage, such as books, manuscripts, and artifacts. These materials can last for centuries or even thousands of years, provided they are stored in appropriate conditions, such as low humidity, low light, and temperature-controlled environments. Digital storage. Another approach is to store human knowledge in digital formats, such as on hard drives, optical disks, or cloud storage. Digital storage is more convenient and can hold significantly more information than physical storage, but it can be vulnerable to degradation, corruption, and technological obsolescence. Therefore, it is essential to have a strategy to migrate digital data to new storage formats as technology evolves. Archival quality paper. Archival quality paper is acid-free and is treated to resist degradation. It can be used to print books, manuscripts, and other materials that can be preserved for centuries. Microetching. Microetching is a technique that involves etching text or images onto a material at a microscopic level. This technique can be used to store large amounts of data on a small surface area, and the etched material can be made of durable metals or ceramics that are resistant to corrosion and degradation. Multiple copies. Making multiple copies of important documents and storing them in different locations can help ensure their long-term survival. This approach reduces the risk of a single event, such as a fire or flood, destroying all copies of the same document. Data redundancy. In digital storage, data redundancy is used to ensure that data is not lost in case of corruption. This can be achieved through RAID, backups, or other similar strategies. In conclusion, there is no single method that can guarantee the preservation of all human knowledge for 1,000 years without degradation. A combination of physical and digital storage, multiple copies, and data redundancy strategies could be used to ensure the survival of human knowledge for future generations.